This week, the Montgomery County Council expressed unanimous support, meaning all 11 members for support for a zoning change that would limit the number of parking spaces when building new homes near public transportation. Initiated as a means of reducing the cost of constructing new housing, the proposed bill would allow developers to build new housing without providing parking for automobiles if you're within a half mile of Metro or a quarter mile of an existing bus stop. Maricé. The reluctance to use public transportation has been at its highest in the last 18 years as a result of the pandemic. Some 54% of respondents said safety was a top consideration, and only 43% said that they would use their cars less if public transportation was improved. What's going on here? Why is the council doing this?
The war on cars, huh, Casey? You know, it's great to see your impartiality in terms of the questioning here. But if you think about it, 43% is actually a pretty a good percentage, okay? Especially because after the pandemic, we have people that are now thinking about working remotely, et cetera. We got to think about the planet, you know, not 10, 15, 25 years from now, but into the future. And it's going to start with individual decision-making, individual habit changing, and only with the changes in the policy will we be able to actually get a population to start changing those habits. And listen, I mean, it's chilly outside. I'd be the first to tell you, if I had to sit there and wait for the bus, I'd be kind of freezing, but it's going to take a personal commitment for us to make sure that our earth is taken care of in the future.
Hey, Stacey, what I would really like to see is all 11 members of the county council take public transportation for a damn month. Then we'd see how much they like it. You know, in reality, you know, while everybody is concerned about global warming, they're not on board with shutting down oil and gas production, paying higher prices for gas and electricity, and majorly, they're not wanting to give up their automobile travel. They love their cars. What do you think?
Well, I think that this is part of the hypocrisy that we see in a lot of these policies, and particularly with this one, it's impracticable. We're already seeing negative results of it down in DC, where they're experimenting with it. And living in a car-free building doesn't prohibit you from owning a car. So what we're now seeing on the streets in DC is that people in those car-free buildings are parking in the nearby neighborhoods. And DC has experimented with zoning that if you live in one of those car-free buildings, that you can't get a permit to park in that neighborhood. But it doesn't work. People snub the law. They park where they want to. In some instances, they even double park with seeming insistence and insolence. And DC doesn't even care about shoplifters. So why would it take aggressive action on these scofflaws? I think that the bottom line is that for most people, and to Maricé's point, that it's cold out. You know, what if you have a child that's sick and you're relying on public transportation, but you don't have a doctor that's nearby? You know, these are the things that drive people to need to or want to have a car.
You know, I mean, the automobile was one of the greatest inventions that opened up, you know, for people the ability to have transportation and mobility and freedom. And this war on the car is you know, really, it's an attack on poor people, because rich people are going to own their cars. They're going to live in the suburbs, and they're not going to care. But it's really an attack on the lower class and the poor, who want and depend on their cars to get to their jobs and to have the economic freedom that they deserve. Maricé, any thoughts?
Yeah, I completely disagree. You know, out of all the industrialized countries, the U.S. is really lacking behind in terms of using the technology that exists, and we also understand that, yeah, even though we may be addicted to cars, we may be addicted to oil, there's going to have to be a shift. And if you look at any major industrialized country in any of the major cities, where, by the way, where young people are moving to, and that's where the future is going to be, you know, it has nothing to do with class. I think with time and commitment, real commitment, seeing from federal, state, and county policy, which is what we're starting to see with this county council, I think we should be all proud that the county council unanimously is moving forward on this bill.
Well, like I said, I want to see all 11 of those council members, you know, particularly the up county council members, start using the ride-on buses, because, you know, then they'll have a different opinion about transportation.